Hello everyone, and welcome to this detailed walkthrough of a Node-RED flow that simulates a smart parking system. If you're new to Node-RED, this is a fantastic example to learn from because it combines simulation logic, data processing, database integration, and a user-friendly dashboard all in one. At its core, this flow models a parking lot with 20 slots, randomly simulating vehicles entering and exiting every 5 seconds, while updating a real-time dashboard that shows occupancy stats, a visual grid of slots, a trend chart for usage over time, and even a gauge for percentage occupied. In the real world, this solves the problem of inefficient parking management in busy urban areas, where drivers waste time circling for spots and operators struggle to monitor availability. Think of it as the backbone for IoT-based smart parking apps that could guide users to free spots via mobile notifications or digital signs, reducing traffic congestion and emissions. Let's dive right into how this flow works by following the execution order, starting from the very beginning. The flow kicks off with an inject node named Simulate every 5 seconds, which acts like a timer that automatically triggers a message every 5 seconds after an initial 1-second delay, and it keeps doing this indefinitely once started. This node is crucial because it simulates ongoing activity in the parking lot without needing real sensors or external inputs, making the whole system self-contained for testing or demo purposes. When it triggers, it sends out an empty message object, basically just a blank slate that says, hey, it's time to update the simulation, and this message flows directly into the next node. That next node is a function node called Simulate Parking Logic, which is the heart of the simulation where all the magic happens. Inside this node, there's JavaScript code that first checks if the parking state exists in context storage. If not, it initializes an array of 20 slot objects, each with properties like slot number, occupied status, vehicle ID, entry time, and an estimated duration. This is required to maintain a persistent model of the parking lot across triggers, since Node-RED is event-driven and doesn't hold state otherwise. The code then determines if it's peak hour based on the current time, adjusting the probability of an entry or exit to make the simulation more realistic. Higher chance of entries during rush hours like mornings or evenings. It generates a random action. With a certain probability, it tries to park a new vehicle by finding a free slot, assigning a random vehicle ID, setting the entry time to now, and marking it occupied, while also estimating a stay duration between 15 minutes and 4 hours. If it's an entry, it sets a message event property to entry. If not, it attempts an exit by sorting occupied slots by how long they've been parked and picking the oldest one, calculating the actual duration, preparing a Mongo doc object with details like vehicle ID, times, and duration for storage, then freeing up the slot and setting the event to exit. This node transforms the empty incoming message by adding the updated parking state array and the event type, and optionally the Mongo doc if it's an exit. Overall, it affects the flow by deciding whether data gets saved to the database and by keeping the parking model dynamic, ensuring the dashboard always reflects a changing, realistic scenario. From there, the message splits into two paths, one to a switch node named entry or exit, and the other straight to the stats calculation. The switch node checks the event property in the message. If it's equal to exit, it routes the message to its output. Otherwise, it drops it for that path. This is needed to handle exits differently, specifically to log them without cluttering every update with database writes. If it's an exit, the message goes to a debug node called debug6, which simply logs the full message to the sidebar for troubleshooting, helping developers see what's happening without affecting the flow. At the same time, that exit message also hits a MongoDB out node named save exit to MongoDB. But when active, inserts the Mongo doc object into a collection called parking_history in a local MongoDB database named polldb. This node is essential for persisting historical data like for later analytics on usage patterns, and it doesn't output anything further, so the path ends there. By separating exits this way, the flow ensures efficient data handling, only logging when something noteworthy happens, while the main path continues uninterrupted for real-time updates. Regardless of entry or exit, every message then reaches the function node called calculateStats, which processes the parking state from the previous node. Here, the code counts the number of occupied slots, calculates available ones by subtracting from the total of 20, computes a percentage occupancy rounded to the nearest whole number, and checks against a flow variable for the peak today, updating it if the current occupied count is higher. This node is vital for turning raw slot data into meaningful metrics that humans can quickly understand, transforming the message's payload into an object with total, occupied, available, occupancy p seat, peak today, and the full grid array. It affects the overall flow by preparing data specifically for the dashboard nodes downstream, ensuring everything from text displays to charts gets consistent, computed values rather than having to recalculate them separately. Now, from Calculate Stats, the message fans out to several UI nodes that build the dashboard. First, there's a UI underscore text node for total slots, which takes the total from the payload and displays it in a row spread layout within the default group on the Smart Parking tab. It's required to give users a baseline reference, and it just formats the value as plain text, updating the dashboard in real time. Similarly, the UI underscore text for occupied shows the occupied count, providing a quick glance at how full the lot is, and the UI underscore text for available displays the available slots, helping users see opportunities directly. Then, there's a UI underscore template node named Parking Grid, which uses Angular JS and CSS to render a responsive grid of slots sorted by number, with headers for slot, status, vehicle, and parked since. It styles occupied slots in red tones and free ones in green, showing vehicle IDs and entry times only when relevant. This node is key for visual representation, turning the grid array into an interactive, glanceable view that makes the data feel tangible, like a real parking map. The message also goes to a UI underscore gauge node called occupancy percent, which visualizes the occupancy PCT as a colored gauge from 0 to 100, with green for low, orange for medium, and red for high. This adds an intuitive, at-a-glance element to the dashboard, making it easier for non-technical users to assess status quickly. In parallel, the message hits a function node named Usage Trend Buffer, which maintains a flow variable array of the last 30 occupied counts, adding the current one and shifting out old ones if needed, then sets the payload to this history array. This is necessary to build a time series dataset without overwhelming storage, and it prepares data specifically for trending, affecting the flow by enabling historical visualization. From there, it flows to a UI underscore chart node named Peak Usage, but actually labeled Occupied Trend, which plots the history as a line chart from 0 to 20, removing data older than 30 points or an hour. This node brings the temporal dimension to life, showing patterns like peak hours, and it's crucial for predictive insights in a real system. This entire data flow starts with a time trigger, simulates changes to the parking model, routes exits for logging, computes stats, and pushes everything to the dashboard for display, with messages transforming from empty to stateful and statistical along the way, ensuring smooth, reactive updates. In real-life applications, this flow is incredibly useful for scenarios like managing parking in shopping malls, airports, or city streets, where integrating with actual sensors via MQTT or cameras could replace the simulation, allowing operators to monitor from a central dashboard, predict overflows, or even automate fees based on duration stored in MongoDB. Imagine integrating it with mobile apps for reservations or alerts, turning wasted time into efficiency. That said, while this flow is solid for a beginner demo, a critical analysis reveals several areas for improvement and optimization that matter for production readiness. For instance, the simulation logic could be enhanced with more vehicle types like EVs that prefer certain slots, or minimum stay times to avoid unrealistic quick turnovers, making it closer to real behavior and better for testing edge cases. Error handling is minimal right now. If MongoDB is down, the flow just fails silently, so adding catch nodes or retries would prevent data loss and improve reliability. The dashboard could benefit from more interactivity, like buttons to manually trigger entries or a table for history queries from MongoDB, turning it from passive to active management. Performance-wise, with only 20 slots, it's fine, but scaling to hundreds might require optimizing the grid, rendering, or using WebSockets for pushes instead of polls. Also, security isn't addressed. Exposing the dashboard publicly without authentication could be risky, so integrating Node-RED security features matters for real deployments. By understanding and expanding on it, you can tackle complex IoT projects with confidence, ultimately creating solutions that make everyday challenges like finding a parking spot a thing of the past. Thanks for watching, and let's build something amazing together.